When people see Precious now, kneeling in church, eyes closed, tears streaming down her face, no one believes she was once the hottest girl on Lagos Island. But every scar on her soul carries a story the world never knew, and this is her story. Before we begin, if you love emotional African stories with deep life lessons, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any new stories from African Folktales Queen TV. Alright, let's begin. Precious grew up in a small town near Owerri. Her mother was a trader who believed that education could save anyone, and her father was a quiet man who sold spare parts. They loved her dearly, but poverty whispered louder than love sometimes. When Precious finished secondary school, there was no money for university. So, she came to Lagos, the city of dreams and traps. She came with one small box, one borrowed handbag, and a big promise to her mother. Mama, I'll make it. I'll send you money soon. Lagos welcomed her like a charming liar, smiling at her during the day, but laughing at her at night. She got a small job at a salon in Surulere, washing hair for 3,000 naira a week. But in that salon, she met girls who wore designer clothes and carried iPhones. How do you girls afford all these things? Precious asked. One of them smiled, blew smoke into the air, and said, "My dear, Lagos doesn't reward hard work, it rewards smart work." That sentence changed Precious' life forever. Soon she began following them out to parties, lounges, and clubs. At first, she told herself she was just going to have fun. But in Lagos, fun quickly turns into business. Men started noticing her glowing skin, her sweet voice, her laughter that could melt a stone. They offered her drinks, then money, then phones, and Precious, tired of counting coins, began to accept. Washing hair for 3,000 naira a week. But in that same salon, months passed, and the small town girl slowly became a city queen. At first, Precious was just another pretty face in Lagos, hanging out with small boys who borrowed cars and posed with fake designer belts. They took her to small clubs, cheap restaurants, and promised her heaven with empty pockets. But Lagos has a way of teaching fast. Precious watched how other girls moved, how they dressed, talked, and positioned themselves around real money. She studied their ways until she learned the game herself. Soon, she stopped wasting time on boys who could only buy shawarma. She began to move with big girls who knew where the real deals were: private parties in Ikoyi, pool gatherings in Lekki, and lounges where rich men threw money like water. One connection led to another. A friend introduced her to a businessman. That one introduced her to a politician. Before long, Precious's lifestyle changed completely. New wigs, new perfumes, new men. She no longer used public transport. There was always a man ready to send a car. Her phone never stopped buzzing. Different voices calling her, "Baby, my sunshine, my queen." She told herself she was smart, not loose. She wasn't being used, she was using them. Her apartment changed too. From a small room in Surulere to a furnished flat in Lekki. Perfume in the air, money on the table, gifts everywhere. Neighbors started whispering her name with both envy and suspicion. Her friends called her Lagos Barbie. She had finally arrived, or so she thought. Then, one Friday night, at Quillock's nightclub, under bright lights and loud music, she met a man who would change everything. Chief Adewale. He wasn't like the others. No noise, no fake promises, just calm confidence. While other men bragged, he simply watched her with eyes that seemed to see through her soul. That night was different, and from that moment, Precious's story took a turn she never expected. Chief was different. He didn't touch her roughly or talk with arrogance like the others. He was calm, gentle, with eyes that carried stories of their own. He was in his late 40s, well-dressed, and when he smiled, you could tell he had everything: money, influence, and peace. That peace was what attracted Precious. They talked for hours that night. When he offered to drop her at home, she accepted. He gave her his card and said softly, "Call me if you ever need someone to talk to." The next morning, Precious called not because she needed to, but because her heart told her to. Their friendship grew fast. Chief would send her money for upkeep, visit her salon, take her to dinner in Victoria Island. Precious began to fall for him. When she found out he was married, it was too late. She was already in love. She told herself, his wife doesn't make him happy. I'll do better. That was the lie she used to silence her conscience. Chief tried to resist, but the comfort and excitement Precious gave him were addictive. He started lying to his wife, sneaking out at night, spending weekends with Precious. Soon, everyone in the club knew they were an item. Months later, Precious got pregnant. When she told Chief, his face went pale. He begged her to end it, but Precious refused. This is our child, Chief. You can't hide forever. His wife, Mrs. Attawale, found out through a friend. The once peaceful home turned into a battlefield. Chief's wife confronted him in tears. After 20 years, this is how you repay me. With a girl old enough to be our daughter? Chief couldn't answer. His children stopped talking to him. His business began to crumble. And out of guilt, he married Precious, a quiet, secret wedding no one celebrated. At first, Precious felt victorious. She wore the ring proudly and posted pictures online. She told her old friends, "See me now, the wife of a millionaire." But months later, the truth came crashing in. Chief stopped smiling. He barely touched his food, barely spoke to her. At night, she'd find him sitting in the dark, staring at a family photo, his wife and children laughing together. One evening, he said quietly, "I used to be a happy man. Now, I feel like a stranger in my own life." Those words haunted Precious. Her once luxurious home became cold. The silence between them was louder than any argument. Even during her pregnancy, Chief hardly looked at her. When she gave birth to a baby boy, he didn't celebrate, he only sighed. Days turned into months. Precious felt trapped, rich but miserable. No friends, no love, no peace. Sometimes she'd look at herself in the mirror and whisper, "I took another woman's joy, and now I'm living her pain." One day, Precious visited a small church nearby. During the service, the pastor spoke about forgiveness and rebuilding broken lives. It felt like he was talking directly to her. She fell to her knees and cried, praying for the strength to make things right. Later that week, she packed her bags, took her baby, and left Chief's house. She sent him a letter that read, "I'm sorry. I never meant to destroy what you had. I just wanted to be loved." She went back to her salon job and began sharing her story with other young women. She started a small foundation to mentor girls who come to Lagos looking for a quick success. She told them, "Don't let Lagos define your worth. The lights are bright, but the darkness behind them is deeper." Today, Precious is not rich, but she is peaceful. She raises her son with humility and prays daily for the family she broke apart. And every time she walks past a nightclub, she whispers, "That used to be me, but not anymore." Never chase love or success through someone else's destruction. The city may praise you for a while, but guilt will always collect its debt.